All right, it is time for my NFL Week 2 predictions. I didn't do good at all last week, going 7-9, so definitely looking to improve that this week. But I'm already 1-0 thanks to the Eagles beating the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. But getting into the Sunday games, starting with the Packers and Falcons, both of these teams winning in Week 1. But I have the Falcons improving to 2-0. I think Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson, Cordell Patterson. I don't think that the Packers will be able to contain that run game. Now, if the Packers were to win this game, I think it could be to a similar issue with the Falcons not being able to contain Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. But I think with that offense in general, with Drake London and Kyle Pitts, will be too dominant for that Packers defense. Moving on, Raiders and Bills. I'm going to keep this one short and simple. I think the Bills win in a blowout. After a very disappointing loss last week and a terrible performance by Josh Allen, I think that they turn it around, and I think that this is one of those games where Josh Allen just goes crazy on that Raiders defense. Like I said, quick turnaround for this team. They're back to 1-1. Next up, Ravens and Bengals. No Marcus Williams, no Marlon Humphrey, I'm pretty sure. For the Ravens, also no Tyler Linderbaum, no J.K. Dobbins. This team is already being faced with injuries. We're only in week 2. The Bengals had a really bad week last week versus the Browns in Cleveland. It was raining conditions. The Browns were messing up Joe Burrow with their defensive schemes. And, after that performance, I think just like the Bills, they turn it around. And against a bad pass defense on top of all their injuries, I think the Bengals win this game. Joe Burrow has a really good game. Moving on, Seahawks-Lions. This game's in Detroit, the home opener after after Detroit won a big game on Thursday night to open up the season in Kansas City. I'm taking the Lions in this game. I think that the Seahawks really had disappointed a lot of people, including me last week against the Rams. They lost to the Rams without Cooper Kupp, and even with Cooper Kupp, I would have picked Seattle to win this game. And I think that they start 0-2, and this is going to have a lot of overreactions to it. Of course, the Seahawks are going to be 0-2, and after their surprising year last year, they're going to just disappoint. Were they a one-year wonder? I don't think so, but I think that, they do have a tough schedule to start the year. I'm taking the Lions to win this game, though. Like I said, home opener for Detroit. The fans are going to be hype. It's their first year with actual expectations. I'm excited to watch this game. Moving on, Chargers-Titans. The Chargers had a disappointing week last week. After basically not being able to guard Tyreek Hill, to keep it short and simple. The Titans also had a bad week last week with Ryan Tannehill throwing 3 interceptions and losing to the Saints, with Derek Carr making his New Orleans debut. We'll get to them in a bit. I'm going to take the Chargers to win this game, though. They had a really convincing offense last week because, the Dolphins' defense wasn't good at all. But at the same time, the Chargers' defense, like I said, they couldn't stop anything. But the Titans don't really have guys. I take that back. Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins. If Mike Vrabel can find the formula to beat this Chargers defense, and Brandon Staley, then I think the Titans can do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an upset alert with Tennessee winning this one. But I'm putting my faith in the Chargers to not start 0-2 after having a lot of expectations going into this year. Moving on, Bears and Bucs. Two very surprising teams because the Bucs won a game that a lot of people thought they would lose last week to Minnesota. The Bears lost a game that a lot of people thought that they'd win to the Packers. And I'm going to be taking the Bucs in this game, man. I really didn't think I'd be saying it. I actually had the Bears winning this game around a couple hours ago before I really thought about it. But this Bucs team looked actually good. Now, it wasn't a fluke win because the Vikings played good. Kirk Cousins played really good. But the Bucs just played like the better team. And Baker Mayfield, maybe he found a home in Tampa. Maybe Todd Bowles can be that guy that really relives his career. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin both look good. Maybe this Bucs team can actually surprise us and contend in the NFC South. I kind of doubt it, but early season blues. Maybe we can see that with the Bucs, but I have them beating Chicago in this game after a disappointing week last week. Moving on, Chiefs-Jags. This is probably the game of the week, at least in the 1 o'clock spot. I'm really surprised this game isn't a 4 o'clock game, but I'll take it because my team plays Sunday night anyway, so I'm in for a long day of football. I'm taking the Chiefs to win this game, though. The Jags had not a really convincing win last week over the Texans, or over the Colts. Trevor Lawrence played good. Calvin really had a game. He's finally back. I know Jags fans are hype about that, but I don't see the Chiefs starting 0-2. I don't think Mahomes has ever started 0-2, so I don't see it happening this year. Travis Kelce's back. Chris Jones is back. That tells you all you need to know. That's their 2 out of their 3 best players. You take away Mahomes, those are their 2 best players on the team that are back who missed week 1 against the Lions. So I think that the Chiefs win this game in pretty convincingly fashion in Jacksonville. Moving on, Colts Texans, another divisional matchup. I'm going to be taking the Texans to win this game. I think that the Colts, they played well against the Jags last week. I just talked about them. And D'Amico Ryans in that Texans defense, they slowed down the Baltimore offense. They didn't completely stop them, but we're also talking about Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson, OBJ, J.K. Dobbins, at least for the first half. And I think against this team like the Colts, with the fellow rookie quarterback in Anthony Richardson, I think that we see the Texans, D'Amico Ryans in that Texans defense be able to basically suffer him. And just not give him any open looks at all. I think that they're going to have the quarterback spy ready. I don't think that they're going to let him do anything on the ground. But CJ Stroud is questionable for this game with the right shoulder injury. If he plays, I'm taking the Texans. If he doesn't play, give me the Colts to win this game. I don't think Davis Mills does it himself. Moving on, 49ers Rams. I'm going to be taking the Niners in this game. If there's anything I've learned from watching the Niners and Rams play the past 2 years, it's that the Niners always win at least one of the games. And I think with this type of team, with that stacked defense, I don't see Matthew Stafford doing it without Cooper Kupp. Short and simple, give me San Fran in this game. Giants Cardinals, I don't see the Cardinals going, I do see the Cardinals going 0-2. I don't see the Giants going 0-2. Now I know a really bad loss last week against the Cowboys. 40-0 on Sunday Night Football. I was looking forward to that game, but after the first quarter, it was basically really boring. I'm taking the Giants to win this game. If they can't beat the Cardinals, they are officially on major panic mode after they gave Daniel Jones a big contract. Can he really even be the guy if they're not able to beat Arizona? Now, the Cardinals played pretty good last week against the Commanders, but it's the Commanders. Sam Howell's first game as quarterback won. I think against the Giants, though, they can't stop Darren Waller in that offense with Saquon. Give me New York to win this game. But speaking of another New York team, we got the Jets and Cowboys up next. The Jets with a crazy thriller win on Monday Night Football. The Cowboys with, like I just said, a very huge win, 40-0 over the Giants on Sunday night. Give me the Cowboys to win this game. No Aaron Rodgers, of course. Zach Wilson may be able to get it done. But against this Cowboys team, who the defense just basically showed out and scored multiple touchdowns, I'm taking Dallas to win this game. They looked all around really good on Sunday night. Of course, in a 40-0 win, how could they not? But against this Jets team, we'll see what that offense with Dak Prescott can do against this Jets defense. I'm excited to see that matchup. But, when it comes to the Jets offense against the Cowboys defense, I think that they have a major advantage. So give me Dallas to start 2-0 on the year. Commanders Broncos up next. I actually had the Commanders winning this game just a couple minutes ago, but I switched it to Denver. The Broncos didn't play a very convincing game of football last week against the Vegas Raiders, but the Commanders didn't play good at all last week against the Cardinals. Now, they barely beat that team who was basically not favored to, but if there was a team to go 0-17, they were definitely the team to do it. So I'm taking Denver to win this game. I don't see Sean Payton and Russell Wilson losing to a team led by Ron Rivera. So give me Denver to win this game and start out 1-1 before they head to Miami for the Dolphins in Week 3. Speaking of the Dolphins, them and the Patriots face off on Sunday Night Football in Foxborough. Keeping it short and simple, give me the Dolphins after that offensive performance last week in LA. I think that they basically, I don't want to say repeated with Tua throwing for almost 500 yards, but I think that they get the win over the Patriots. The main question is, will Bill Belichick be able to contain Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and that whole Miami offense? I think the answer to that question is no. Give me the Dolphins to start 2-0. Patriots dropped to 0-2 for the first time since 2001. Now moving on to the Monday Night Football double header, which I'm looking forward to. Got two divisional matchups. The first one in the NFC South with the Saints and Panthers. Bryce Young threw 2 interceptions, both to Jesse Bates in Week 1 in the Panthers' loss. I'm taking the Saints to win this game. I think the U.S. Bank Stadium is going to have a lot of fans show up, especially for Bryce Young in his home debut. But I'm taking New Orleans to win this game. Derek Carr in that Saints offense didn't look too effective, especially when it came to the red zone against the Titans in Week 1. But I think against this team, like I said, led by a rookie quarterback, I think that defense can do its job enough to, I think that they can intercept Bryce Young 1, maybe even 2 times, and basically get to him enough where he's not too comfortable in the pocket, force him to roll out. I think New Orleans has the keys to win this game. If they don't, I'd be pretty disappointed in them. But don't be surprised that if that home crowd has a really big effect on Bryce Young and the Panthers being able to pull off an upset. Last but not least, Browns-Steelers, a very fun matchup I'm looking forward to. I'm going with the Steelers. I'm really high on this Pittsburgh team, and I know Week 1 against San Fran isn't a great way to show that or start the year. But, against this Cleveland defense, I have a tough time being really confident with the Steelers, but because I have them going 11-6 on the year, I really want to ride with this Pittsburgh team, and I'm going to do it. I think that Kenny Pickett bounces back, and that's not really me actually being confident. I kind of hope he does because I like the Steelers team. Other than the Dolphins, of course, I think that they are probably the second team I'm rooting for. We'll see what the Browns do. I'm not a big Browns fan, of course, when it comes to Deshaun Watson, but he didn't play well last week at all. But that Browns defense looked really, really good against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. So we'll see what happens with that. Either way, those are my week 2 predictions. I'm hyped for this week. Either way, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Either way, that'll wrap up. Hope you guys have a great day. Peace.